It's just gone 9 o'clock Central African time. This is BTV News. We're broadcasting live from the nation's capital, Gaborone. Hi, Molibide Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas is expected to arrive in Botswana tomorrow for a 6-day official visit. Small citrus farms in the Spedu region to seek partnerships with the CDB citrus farm. National First Division Southside Prisons 11 defeats Mogoditsane Fighters 2-0. Amantle Babili is interpreting in sign language. Thank you for joining us. Now, in our first story, the President Dr. Ms has described Ms. Gertrude Tefiso as a hard worker who served her nation with humility and also contributed immensely to the success of her political home. The Botswana Democratic Party, President Masisi said this at Sekoma village as he offered his condolences to the Tefiso family following the loss of Ms. Tefiso, who was laid to rest this morning in Sekoma. Emmanuel Rapua.
Ms. Gertrude Tefiso was the wife of Sekoma village leader Kgosi Mosco Tefiso. Ms. Tefiso, who passed on after battling illness for some time, leaves behind a trail of good work, a legacy that many can learn from. Her good character and sheer ability to easily unite people are some of the core qualities that have been used to describe her. Family and friends also remember her as an astute politician who served her party, the Botswana Democratic Party, diligently.
Kana batho ha ba setso ke motsadi le mmabone anka go nna monate mongame ebile tota ntse le ene o le ntse lo mo roma gongwe le gongwe a tsena gongwe le gongwe
ne motho mo lemo a re ithute mo go ene re tsema lebela le go hula reng ga gagwe a re ithute gore go tshela le motho go ntseang go aga motse go twaeng le rona go phating e tona a ke re tona kana ke ra gore ga gona le kana le yone ra mollela re latlhegetswe ke leloko le le molemo le thopo e kima o tla re bereke thata e tle re kgone go buisetsa phatlha e kana ya e butseng
a lwala a tsoga siek gewees en weer opgestaan mme ha e sa le ngwaga o hetileng ka June maruna a tsogelwa ke ditlhabi tse di sa monelang sebaka.
As the community mourns this nation builder who went all out to serve her people, they have been advised to find comfort in the word of God.
Mina putile batho ba Sekoma na golagantse batho ba Boxpitsi ba Sekoma na re golagantse le ko toropong e mo mokgatleng o motona wa party na golaganya Botswana otlhe le ba morata
o le tautona wa le hatsi le mo le hatsing go sena ape maemo a godimo ga gago mme o dire tiro ya kutlolo botlhoko ya go itshupa ha o le rabatho o lela nabo.
Ms. Gertrude Tefiso, who has been buried at her home village of Sekoma, leaves behind her husband, Kgosi Mosco Tefiso, children, grandchildren, and her siblings. Emmanuel Rapua, BTV News, Sekoma.
The Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Mr. Philip E. Davis, is expected to arrive in Botswana on Monday for a 6-day official visit. President Dr. Masisi and Prime Minister Davis will lead official talks and thereafter address a press conference tomorrow at the Botswana Television Auditorium. The High Commissioner of Botswana to the Bahamas, Mr. Kitso Mokaila, says Botswana intends to use the official visit to strengthen diplomatic ties between the two nations, with Botswana exploring possible collaboration in the financial sector.
His Excellency's visit to the Bahamas last year, he came along with the governor of the Bank of Botswana, who visited the Bank of Bahamas. Key to this is the world is moving forward. You know, we are talking cryptocurrencies, we are talking digital financial sectors. So what we want to learn from the Bahamas, because in the Latin America, and the Caribbean, they have established one of the top financial service centers. So this is where our IFC, as International Financial Services Center, can learn a lot in terms of regulation, because as you move to cryptocurrencies or you introduce cryptocurrencies, you need to make sure that the regulation is in place.
Yes.
And the regulation must also be enabling, but must also be as transparent as possible to ensure that there is no illicit financial flows. So as Bank of Botswana is looking to move in that direction by going, central bank digital currency.
Yes.
This is something we can learn. We can learn from the failures as well.
Yes,
As you know that
yes.
in the Bahamas there was that company called FTX that failed. So we as Botswana don't want to fall into those pitfalls. We want to show our regulations, our legislation, while being transparent, does not allow for illicit financial flows. So to that point, Bank of Botswana will be visiting the Bahamas this year.
Ms. Botswana, who is also the reigning Miss World Africa, Lesego Chombo, has arrived this afternoon from participating in the 71st Miss World. Different speakers who welcomed the African Queen couldn't hide their excitement and gratitude towards her journey, hinting that she has raised Botswana's flag high at the competitions by scooping the Miss World Africa title, a position that Botswana last scooped 14 years ago. After a brief engagement with the media, Chombo went on a motorcade around the city of Gaborone, where a multitude showered her with love and appreciation.
We as Botswana, we are the most beautiful nation in the world. We sell beauty, bomme ba rona ba banta go gaisa botho mo lehatsheng se se supa gore re bante ke sone santa sa bobedi ke gore ka re batho ba rekisang ditemane re ra batho re re tanko Botswana le tele bone re dirisa ditemane tse go godisa economy ya rona. We are going to use this title to be able to take ourselves to the next level.
Lesego Chombo's success at the Miss World pageant goes beyond personal achievement. Her accomplishments have had a significant impact on our nation, inspiring young girls and women to dream big and strive for excellence. She has shown that hard work, determination, and a strong sense of self, anything is possible.
I've had a very long year and a half of reigning as Miss Botswana, but you have been patient with me, you have followed my journey closely, you have showed your love and your support, and I'm really grateful for it. I'd like to thank my family, I'd like to thank my sponsors, I'd like to thank our government, I'd like to thank our media, I'd like to thank the Miss Botswana organization, my friends, everybody who has rallied behind me, and I really want to appreciate all the honorables here present.
The Ministry of Defense and Security, together with the Drug Enforcement Agency, have embarked on an anti-drugs campaign to educate the public about the dangers of taking illicit drugs and substance abuse. Minister Kagiso Musi expressed concern over the increased intake of illicit drugs and substance across the country. He said this while addressing the residents of Sorowe in an anti-drugs campaign. Kipidile Gaolebale and Koketso Ramonso compiled this one.
Minister Musi says his ministry has appointed a former Assistant Commissioner of Botswana Police Service, Mr. Phemelo Ramakorwana, as the Director General of the Drug Enforcement Agency in efforts to continue fighting use of drugs in Botswana. Mr. Musi said government plans to set up drug enforcement agencies offices across the country with the aim of eliminating illicit drug and substance abuse countrywide.
Mira go emela ka dinao jaana ka gore re nne le lephata le leng gore it's a fully fledged unit le ntse le le teng mme re lekile gore gape re tlhatlhose yolo kametseng re batle mongwe e leng gore o tle go letelela pele a le isa ko pele o na eme ha director rao montšha wa lephata le re Phemelo Ramakorwane yole moitseng e le polisi la motia mme ka gore ke bone go le botlhokwa le tautona a bona go le botlhokwa puso ya bona go le botlhokwa gore lephata le le tshwantse gore le emelwe ka dinao
Acting Hospital Superintendent Mr. Mafoko Setso from Sekoma Memorial Hospital said the district is mostly affected by substance abuse, as statistics indicate that males are mostly affected, especially among the youth.
Patients that we have admitted last year from a period of October to December, we have made some observations, but especially in Sekoma Memorial Hospital. Among the patients that we have admitted, 32 of them were for substance abuse disorder. And these patients were mainly males.
Botswana Police Service in Serowe is concerned about the increased number of illicit drugs intake in the area, especially the common one known as cat.
Ya re batho ba se re kanane le borre ba tshwere ba dirisa tagi ye itse thata mo malatsing a gompieno ya go teng katse.
Students are urged to refrain from taking drugs as it derails them from focusing on their studies for the betterment of their future.
Tagi e ne yang khoga dingwaga di le 20 ke dirisa ke tsena sekolo ke na le ditoro tsa fifala ka lebaka la gore ke ne ke dirisa ke be ke tsenya mo mmeleng se se neng se sa ntshwanela ka nako e.
My fellow peers, we have dreams, we are the future, and taking drugs will destroy our future, and our future is that of the country.
Residents of Serowe urged to report those involved in the distribution of drugs to Botswana Police Service and the Drug Enforcement Agency, as this can help to fight against the spread of illicit drugs and substances across the country. Ki Ipidile Gaolebali, PTV News, Serowe.
Business development official at Namport, Mr. Philemon Mopapa, says the Botswana dry port facility in Walvis Bay, Namibia, remains underutilized. The piece of land, measuring over 36,000 square feet, though experiencing gradual increase in volumes of imports, is yet to live up to its full potential and deliver on its mandate of facilitating trade by opening up Botswana to external markets accessible through the sea. Angela Nosa with the details.
Seeing Botswana is landlocked but needs to transport goods and services to external markets, in 2009 the Namibian government gave Botswana over 36,000 square meters to be used as a dry port facility in Walvis Bay. The dry port, however, remains underutilized despite its potential in facilitating trade within the SADC region.
Volumes for the last financial year was 470,000 tons just for Botswana. Currently, the total is also exports surpassed imports, favorable trade balance, and we currently at the first 10 months of the financial year, we're standing at 312,000 tons. The Botswana dry port is the best performing dry port currently out of all of the dry ports that we've allocated to the respective countries. But you are not capitalizing enough on the dry port. So I would want to urge you to really capitalize on this. This is a strategic asset that you have inside the port of Walvis Bay. You will not get something like this at any other port in the world.
The Trans-Kalahari Corridor is a network of roads that lead to the Namibian port.
We see the Trans-Kalahari Corridor and Walvis Bay in particular being a port as very key to our strategy of ensuring security of supply. We are using South Africa. It's a well-oiled route. Everything, the pricing is good. So a new corridor like this in terms of importation of fuel, the pricing doesn't normally favor us, but I think with more volume, you are also able to negotiate better rates, and therefore you are able to bring in more products through this route if you've got more volume.
For the longest of time, Botswana has contributed only 3% of trade on the TKC. But now we are talking about 14%, 16% of trade that is moving on and is growing. We have seen that the port of Wales, they actually developed a jetty for fuel, and now we are getting a lot of our fuel companies going to Namibia to get fuel.
Having the Trans-Kalahari Corridor and the dry port being fully utilized will help deliver on the mandate of the African Continental Free Trade Area, whose aim is to enable free flow of goods and services across the continent, a development that has exponential potential for growing the economy of the African region. Angela Nosa, BTV News, Khansi.
As the harvest day approaches at the Silibepikwe Citrus Farm, it serves as an inspiration for small citrus farms in the region to partner with the farm and venture into the international market. BTV News reporter Mamusi Siska visited the Khokon Ranch and Kwadiwa Citrus to gather insights from farmers who have been operating in the industry here.
The establishment of the Silibepikwe Citrus Farm has undoubtedly brought about a change for small citrus farmers in the area. On a positive note, the farm's success has sparked interest in citrus farming, inspiring some small farmers to expand their operations or enter the industry. The farm's reputation for producing high-quality citrus fruits has also raised the profile of Botswana as a citrus producing nation, potentially opening up new markets for all citrus farmers in the region.
Citrus, I'm just about 3 to 4 kilometers mo citrus. Haba horoha bane bata ba checka dinamune tsame ba ira di test tsa bona gone ha. Time and again bane batisa ba bereki ba bone gone ha ba ba mphali thuto ya gore gongwe nka di baballa yang go di khanna malwetse.
The Silibepikwe Citrus project is not a threat to any one of us. Actually, I think it's a good stepping stone for all of us. It opened doors for us, it opened markets for us. So I believe on the end of the day, we can all be together in the whole citrus industry in Botswana.
With the right strategies and support, these farmers can continue to thrive alongside the large farm and contribute to Botswana's growing citrus industry. Mamusi Siska, BTV News, Silibepikwe.
The chairman of another conservation trust, Mr. Dikgakgamatso Thabi, says they have managed to carry out a number of development projects from the proceeds of hunting of wild animals, including the construction of CT5 campsite, which is used for private hunting. The trust is made up of Nata, Sepako, Mangotai and Maposa villages, and further shared that they want plans to ban the import of hunting trophies into the United Kingdom, not to come to fruition, as it will reverse all the gains made to address human-wildlife conflict since the lifting of the hunting ban in 2019. Bethany Mando has more.
These are some of the developments at Nata Conservation Trust, funded by the proceeds from hunting. And for the first time in 2021, the trust started to enjoy the benefits of coexisting with wild animals. As a call for the ban on the import of hunting trophies to the UK is gaining momentum, on the other hand, local communities are seeing positive improvements in their livelihoods and reduced human-wildlife conflict.
Before re nna le letsomo, re tshela ka di-gate takings. Ha go terna le madi mo trusting, re na le madi a ka tshwarang bo 150 to bo 200,000 pula. Mme gompieno sense re nna le letsomo, re na le partner re tshelang le ene yo e leng gore ke ene yo re pataganeletseng dikgang tsa rona tsa letsomo. Ka dikgang tsa letsomo re na le madi a ka tshwarang bo 4.3 million a e leng gore ko one a re dirang dithabollo ka ona, mme re kgonne ka one madi a letsomo le ko gating ya rona ha o tsena o ta kgona go bona re kgonne go aga a courier shop, re kgonne go thabolla di-office tsa rona le mo metseng ya rona hela yalo re gona le lenaneo le lengwe le leng gore le tswa mo mading a letsomo. Metse ya rona e 4 e leng Sepako, Mangotai, Maposa le Nata. Ngwaga le ngwaga mo dikgang tsa letsomo re baha madi a kana ka 100,000. This year re baha 100,000. The last year re baha 75,000 pula through their VDCs. We are going up. Ka re lebeletse gore re nna re baha madi ka kokeletso ya 25% ngwaga le ngwaga.
Nata Conservation Trust owns a private hunting concession known as CT5, which remained undeveloped for many years, but thanks to hunting, the camp has been successfully erected.
Ka gore re ne ra wina quotara e re winneng ra hella re bata partner yo e leng gore ke ene wa gileng ha antse ya dirisana le rona wa gile kampae e le ya rona re le batho bana the Conservation Trust ke maduo a madi a letsomo a a dirileng bonte jo le bo bonang jo bo hanujo jo e leng gore re ntse re sena jone before letsomo re ntse re na le setshahela se re sa bolo go nna re se bewa be re sa itse gore ka se dirisa eng tota toro wa rona ke gore molao kakanyetso ko parlamente yone ya UK o ska wa heta mme ebile gongwe ba lebelle thata mabaka a mantsi a dirang gore bothokwa ja matshelo a batho le gore letsomo le thabolla ya matshelo a batho ba se ka ba focusa thata mo kgang e nngwe hela gongwe ya ba e batang ya conservation gongwe kana bo photographing.
Human wildlife conflict has been a thorn in villages like Sepako, Mangotaye and Maposa, and the community welcomed the government's consultations on the lifting of hunting ban imposed in 2014.
Maybe tumelo me go re ga dintsi di hulwa jang di a sia ebile di hella di itse gore ga utswa monko wa motho thobolo e teng
mme rona mo Mangotaye nna re tsere tshwetswa gore di hokotswe re nela di trust tsa rona di quotara tsa gore e nne lone le tsomo le re ka ro tsomang ka di quotara
bone ba di trust gona le madi a ba nela motse mme madia ra kgaogantse ka dijarata tsote go ya ka dijarata tse di teng mo metseng mme se re dumela gore se kgonne go thusa matshelo a batho ka gore ba kgonne go reka dijo bangwe ba kgonne go duelela bana ba bone ko sekolong.
Despite efforts made, some are still recovering from the trauma and physical injuries caused by animal attacks.
Le gompieno kwano ga ke ikutlwe le ha le gopola me le robegile le ntse yana le ha ntule botoko gompieno ga gona sepe se nka se bereka.
Nna ke dumetse Paulos ke ngwana ga Isaac Tshwane wa ngwagono wa go rata bulawa ke to ga bona ke le ha yana ka ha ke ikutlwe sente maloba ile ata itsena mo jarata ya mito
kana ke ra gore setse di gorogile ha ke bua yana gore ja ka Sepako ngwa gona sena metsi gore kgwedi yone se mla April e tabore le mo mathate e bila ne go te ke rona ba re laolang ne re le tsumela ko le simolela gompieno gore di kgone boela morago.
As the bill to ban imports of trophies to the UK will be debated this coming Friday, affected communities are calling for the international organizations to take into consideration the threats of increased wild animals on their lives. Bethany Mantu, BTV News, Martha.
The media continues to make strides in advocating for dissemination of information about government policies, programs and many other initiatives in a variety of formats which have a huge impact on society at large. This was said by the Assistant Minister for State President, Ms. Boitumelo Mudimo, at the inaugural Ms. Botswana Golf Day in Gaborone. Mojadi Mukibelo was there.
The media industry in Botswana is experiencing growth. Therefore, MISA Botswana has been at the forefront of these changes, working tirelessly to ensure that the media remains independent and professional. However, like many other non-profit making organizations, MISA Botswana faces challenges in securing sustainable funding to fulfill its objectives, hence hosting its first ever MISA Botswana Golf Day to connect with its potential sponsors.
By coming together to support this event, we can help ensure that MISA Botswana has the resources it needs to continue its vital work. There is no denying the importance of the media in modern life. The media's capacity to disseminate information about government policies, programs, and many other initiatives in a variety of formats has a huge developmental impact on societies and individuals.
MISA Botswana has applauded the government of Botswana and other stakeholders for their unending support.
When the current MISA Botswana Board of Trustees came to office in January 2023, we made a pledge to our members to not only revive the organization, but to ensure that we pick the advocacy baton. We also pledged to work with all stakeholders, being government and the private sector. Hence, we are here today. Isn't it a beautiful day? To run an organization like MISA Botswana, which is an advocacy institution, we need support from government sector and active private sector. So thank you very much, private sector.
These potential sponsors have the eager to carry on MISA Botswana's mandate to its full potential.
We partnered with MISA to ensure that we grow the organization together. Our media partners, MISA is a very key stakeholder, not only to Bona Life but to the country as a whole.
Protea Hotel by Marital is to say we want to support the council in need, whether it's bad or good.
The first ever MISA Botswana Golf Day is said to be an annual event that will continue to attract more potential sponsors that will drive the organization's desire to have a huge developmental impact among societies. Mojadi Mukibelo, BTV News, Gaborone.
The founder of Mrs. Botswana, Ms. Kgalalelo Lesetedi, says it is important for couples to be given proper marital guidance and counseling as this will help build happy marriages that will raise a responsible generation of children. Ms. Kgalalelo said this during a marriage and couple dinner that was organized to engage couples on the importance of keeping healthy families and how to maintain them. Reports.
With the ever-increasing numbers of unhealthy marriages, let alone divorces, some have now reached a point of looking down on the institution of marriage as they view it as an unhappy establishment. Nevertheless, there are a handful of individuals who are still hoping and believe it is not late for marriage to regain integrity as they continue disseminating positive messages about healthy marriages.
Kana hela ba ileng gore tota ba tshela mmogo go ta go rutuntshana ka lorato ka lenyalo go ta go gakololana ka gore maitamo a rona mme ano ra tshwara jang kumpeno le mona konyetang ba ga Botswana yo siameng Botswana yo senang go khontsho Botswana ona lo lorato gore ka moso bana ba rona ba go le mo lorato leo re bone re godisa bana ba ileng gore ba supa sone se ileng gore le letsa go se bona ka khiso lorato mo go bone.
Almost entirely, things that are known to be the contributing factors to this situation are not as complex as many may think, but within the couple's control, issues surrounding finances and emotional management made the list.
Dikoloto. Do not allow people to deposit their money into your pocket without your plan. That's what Dikoloto is, isn't it? The last thing that nobody's going to talk to you about is build your assets. Build your assets. Assets are all types.
se ga go isa bereka le tumelo ya bona ba laolwa ke melao ya teng le go tlhokomela mmele ya go bona gore ba dirang ka mmele ya bona. You must start by being a healthy, good person. Then when you are healthy, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, you can't go wrong.
Premarital guidance came out as fundamental to a healthy and successful marital union as it puts a couple in a proper position to understand and be more accustomed to pros and cons to a viable and healthy marriage. Goboletse Mang, Boitshwarelo, BTV News, Gaborone.
Yeah, watching BTV News, thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, it's all jubilations at Shashe River School in Tonota as the school celebrated its good performance in the 2023 BGCSE results. In a total of 34 senior secondary schools across the country, Shashe River School attained the 6th position this year. The school has also produced 3 students who made it to the national top achievers level. Faith Ditete with the report.
Presenting the results to the village leadership, it was clear that collaboration between the school management and village leadership was key in yielding good academic results. However, some parents are still lagging behind in their children's education, a trend that affects efforts to improve results.
mo go thogang e le mmitwanyana but mme ke itumella gore molemo o ile wa heta bosula ke le go thata dikgosi tsa me go se mo alosi le le kokola gago ha ne le sena sabe khosi madu a na tshwantse gore a nthone le ha ka tswana dirwe mo motseng wa gaetso wa tswana mathata a matuna re nna o ba gatsi ke botsadi ga ba a bo thusi bana mo tshwanetseng ke sone bona ke gompieno ga boyo.
Khosi Bokamoso Radipitsi employed the school to aim for the first national position and to maintain the effective strategies that were employed to improve the performance of the school.
Ke batla gore se le se hiteletseng go hita mo go number 5 today ngwagota le so oketse gore re kgone go go number 1 go motho o hela jang ha ile gore ke boitsholo ra o ngakalla mo boitsholo ha ile gore ke go bala ra go ngakalla mo go bala.
We did a lot. We had a program ya gore bana ba bangwe stats are normally swaka 8 but nina study zele gore up to 9 bana ba ta go up to 9 and that study was solely supervised at the school head ke nna se dira ke na teng ka mogopolo a teng and this made us do better.
The high performer at Shashe School, Tsaoneki Ulitile, urged the current Form 5s to honor God and work hard to attain good results, adding that the list of top achievers is male dominant. As such, she called on other girls to pull up their socks and give their male counterparts a tough competition.
I'll take this moment to encourage the current Form 5s that it is possible. Yes. You can do it. You know, yesterday we were at Marapula and all the 20 top achievers were there. And among the 20 top achievers, there were 6 girls and 14 boys. I would like to encourage all the girls that you can do it.
Some parents' lack of participation in their children's studies remains a concern, and Khosi Radipitsi commended the school and encouraged stakeholders to continue the good work as it has proved to be viable, especially in the quest to achieve Vision 2036 aspirations. Faith Ditete, BTV News, Tonota.
Okavango District Council has been allocated over 222 million Pula as a recurrent budget. Presenting the budget before a special full council on Thursday in Gumare, Finance and Works Committee Chairperson Mr. Lesedi Boy highlighted that the approved 2024-2025 budget shows an increase of 17.1% as compared to the 2023-2024 financial year. Tiny Sukudu reports.
Mr. Boy said the major contributors of the 48.77% of total budget are the obligation to pay salaries, allowances for public servants, as well as provision of increase in the number of council wards. Councillors have pleaded with the council to utilize all the funds allocated to them to avoid retaining the funds.
The provision will cater for officers' salaries, members' salaries, allowances, overtime allocation, employers' pension contribution, and members' funeral benefits, among others. The vote has increased by 40,913,258 Pula when compared to the 2023-2024 allocation of 122,375,761 Pula.
Re batla go gore ditirelo a di ko bathong ga re bate mo ka gatella e thata ka gore go a diragala mo dingwaga tse di hitileng le one re tswa mo gone re dumela gore go na le madi mangwe a ta boa a boela ko letole la puso mme dikgwetlo di setse di le teng mo kgaolong hela go dumela gore madi a berekile mme rona ntse re bona gore dikgwetlo di teng ke yone hela re batlang gore ha e ka nna teng.
Some councillors had their say pertaining the funds allocation.
Ke itumeletse hela gore re na le dikolo di le 3 mo Gumare mme gompieko mo budgeteng ya gompieno ya 2024-2025 go supagala gore re hilwe madi a le kanang 85 million gore sekolo sa rona sa bo 4 sa agiwe mo Gumare mo kgaolong ya rona ya North ka gore motse o golela gone ka ko
le kana re mo kgaolo ya magogo
re mokgwa ya bojanala e tlhoka gore this committee o dira selo e tshwanetse gore e bo e tshepame e re hire dithulaganyo le dikeletso gore le batswana se makontle re le council ba leka go re thusa gore our income tle gore go tshwanetsega gore tle gore budget ya mambula selo re supporte.
The councillors were urged to always dedicate their time for budget preparation process as to have their voices heard. Taini Tsugudu, BTV News, Gumare.
The Northwest District has been urged to use abundant business opportunities in the district to supplement its income. This was expressed by the councillor for Mababe Kwai, Mr. Kibaridi Tsensogoto, when commenting on the 2024-2025 recurrent revenue support grant allocation speech presented in Maung. Anthony Kloboga.
The Northwest District Council has adopted a recurrent budget of almost 292 million, which almost half of it will go to staff and councillors' salaries, allowances, and councillors' terminal benefits. While presenting the 2024 to 2025 recurrent revenue support grant allocation, Northwest District Council Finance Committee Chairperson, Councillor Ntlogelang Kebonyokotla, observed that there is need for council senior staff to come up with ideas on how to generate own source income.
But we are focusing more on the project in the 20 they are already there. Long hanging fruits. For environmental, have a collect the jackets of a collect. Some packing lots we are doing something about them. They have been there, these are private entities. It is a council. So we are trying to expedite this process.
We have our neighbors, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia. They are doing very well. Still more generating on source. So how we are Livingston, we are Vic Falls, we are Swakopman. The council ya Swakopman in a guest house yayo, right in the city of Swakopman. So these are things that we need. Gone are the days Mdula Stilo where we say council ya compete le Batswana. If you go into a business, Mdula Stilo, go into a business, you know you will penetrate.
The Northwest District Council Chairman, Mr. Itumeleng Kilebetsing, called for unity among councillors and staff to utilize the vast business opportunities and lend in creating revenue.
So we need to come up with those things. We are trying this. Whether BDP, BCP or UDC, we need to, at the end of the day, 5 years, you are a it doesn't matter when I was most still known as Mama.
Northwest District councillors were urged to embark on this initiative by applying for tourism concession areas they can lease, building international conference facilities and livestock abattoirs like their neighboring countries' councils. Anthony Tobarang, BTV News, Maung.
Well, that is the news this hour. To stay with us, Liza Oseking on standby to take you through the world of sport. Liza, it's your turn. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Olibile Samoga. Good evening. My name is Liza Oseking with your world of sport, and we are starting off with football news. In the only Botswana Premier League game played this afternoon at VTM Arena, Holy Ghost edged out BDF 11 by 2-0 to move to the 13th place with 17 points. The 2 goals were scored by Denver Meyer and Patrick Kaunda in the first half of the game.
Yeah, I think BDF is playing with a power play, second ball. So we managed to close BDF ka go wina di ball very comfortable mo go. If we have a depth more midfielding, that's why no ka khona BDF. But if you want to, he's going to punish you. So the best way is to put the ball down. That's why I bring in Bo, Brendan, Sandy, Diabate, and the poster, because I know that those are the guys who play ball down there, so that we attack with the left back and counter experience counter Erberikes up front, even to defend.
I don't know. Holy Ghost still got the same pattern, same way.
free kick, first goal, second goal, le last. Same, and Hasiso Serring Harabu Akason, because we knew Banale, these players, Barba Faula in most cases, because Roberto Kepelo, player telling they would. But first because they will dribble, and we've said it. Gap steady within the area will cost us. But of course, we are dull. DF11, we are dull.
And in the First Division South League game played at River Plate grounds yesterday, Muchudi Center Chiefs defeated City Paula by 2-0 to claim 3 points and bragging rights in the Gauteng Region Derby. Budilo Mohorus.
City Paula came into this encounter after a 3-0 win over Extension Gunners, while Muchudi Center Chiefs played to a 0-0 draw with Mogodisane Fighters. In the first few minutes of the game, both teams were cautious, reverting 2 high balls. Center Chiefs, however, found their rhythm on the half-hour mark and started putting City Paula defense under pressure. They had a chance to take the lead, but Onemo Ketsane fluffed the opportunity. City Paula, however, did not take this lying down, but fought tooth and nail for a goal opportunity. In the second half, Maparangwe came back well organized, playing possession football, visiting City Paula's 18 yards area frequently, and found the opener 10 minutes into the second half through legend Munyaki. Center Chiefs continue to pile pressure on City Paul, searching for a second goal. An opening presented itself for Mahos, but Onemo Ketsane's attempt was defeated by the City Paula goalkeeper. Maparangwe finally got their second goal through Coach Matala from a counter-attack on the 59 minutes.
We followed suit. We went to their trap. We also tried to hit long balls. We tried to advise them half time. In second half, I thought we become a better team. The First Division football, it has got only one reward, which is promotion to Premier League. Which team, all the 12 teams, they need to win the league to go to Premier League. More so, especially us. We have been 7 years in the dusty ground. We really need to try and win the league.
Center Chiefs had a plan, tactically, which was picking the second ball behind our defensive midfielders, and it worked well for them. But when we tried to respond, I think they were well prepared today compared to the Center Chiefs, which we saw playing against the Mogodisane Fighters. Remember, this is our first loss this year. Remember, this is the first time we came out of the ground without a goal. So I think the boys will regroup, get back to our style, and try to move on.
Center Chiefs' win leaves them in position 4 in the Botswana South First Division log standings, while City Paula remains in position 2. Budula Mogoros, BTV Sport, River Plate Grounds.
Moving on, National First Division South side, Prisons 11 defeated Mogodisane Fighters 2-0 in their league encounter played yesterday at SSG grounds. The Warriors maintain their 5th position on the log standings, while the Samba Boys are seated 10th. Tlamelo Munsusi.
Prisons 11 went into this fixture in the back of a 3-games winning streak, having defeated UB Hawks 2-0 in their last game. Mogodisane Fighters have been on fan form recently, having collected 7 points from possible 9, with wins over Notwane and Gunners, and a 1-1 draw with Muchudi Center Chiefs in their last fixture. The Warriors took control of the early exchanges and took the lead on the 32nd minute, courtesy of Musa Tamokate's brilliant header, to take the game to a halftime break with a 1-0 lead for Prisons. From the break, it was an open match as both teams had numerous attempts at goal but failed to find the back of the net. It was, however, Prisons 11 who found the goal to increase their lead, courtesy of Morapedi Kengalu's chip over Mogodisane Fighters goalkeeper Dumisan Nawe.
So we knew it was going to be a tough game. So we just came with the approach, let's get the first goal and see how it happens. Looking at the fact that they played on Saturday, it was a FA Cup, they played on Wednesday, so we knew towards the end they would lapse. Because we didn't start well this season. I would say we would take one game at a time and see what happens, but our aim is to go up the log.
We have lost a very important game, but it's okay. We will bounce back re tla boela gape to the drawing board re go ipankanya gape. Today we didn't come to the party. We didn't play our normal game. Everything wasn't okay. Even our passes were poor. Everything was not okay today.
In other league games, Mochudi Santa Chiefs defeated City Pola 2-0, while UB Hawks beat Flamingo Santos 1-0. Tlamelo Montswisi, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And in the Gaborone City Regional Football Association Division 1 Ladies League, Big Sisters continued their poor run as they registered their 8th loss of the season. Sisters lost by 2-0 against Mazoti in a Week 9 match played at Likidi Football Center this morning. Kagiso Molelekwa has the report.
Both teams started the game on a snail pace due to the scorching heat, but it was Mazoti who had an upper hand as they managed to breach the Big Sisters defense for a 7th-minute opener through California Sarego. After Sarajevo's goal, both teams continued on a low tempo to take the game to recess, with Mazoti leading 1-0. After the halftime break, Mazoti continued to show character and found the back of the net 7 minutes into half as California Sarego returned to hunt Big Sisters after another defensive error. Sarajevo's second and final goal of the day handed coach Erika Mbrutan's side their 4th win of the season.
We didn't respond. If you don't respond in football, they will beat you. So we didn't respond at all. At the back, in the middle, up front, we didn't respond at all. Even though we had two chances, but we couldn't do anything, or we couldn't respond or react well enough, or the way we're supposed to react. So it was a very, very dull game for us.
It was a good game, even though we had some challenges against Smaller, but I can say the game was good. At least we get 2 points, 2 goals, 3 points. These 3 points. Last game, we drew against the UB Kicks and we didn't play a good game. I can say the players don't need instructions. So if we can try string the ball down, it's a mahasi. And we needed 3 points.
The Week 9 results left Mazoti still on position 4 with 13 points on the log standings from 9 games in which they lost 3 and drew 1, while Big Sisters on the other hand remain rooted at the bottom of standings with only 1 point from 9 games from which they lost 8 and drew 1. Kagiso Molelekwa, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
And finally, Italian Tepilo Yame had a day to remember as he scooped 2 gold medals at the first Botswana Judo Federation tournament. The tournament, organized in partnership with Botswana National Sport Commission, was held here in Gaborone yesterday, where he won all his matches. Kagiso Molelekwa continues.
Tepilo Yame, who is also a national team player, won his first gold medal after winning all his 2 matches in the junior category. He went on to win the second gold medal with 6 wins in as many games in the senior category.
I'm feeling okay, but at the moment I'm going to work hard to get more gold to Botswana. I work hard every day, get train, keep on every competition.
In the senior category, national team captain Treshosi Tsile walked home with gold after winning his 2 matches in another senior category. In the cadet under 55 kg category, Jeff David scored position 1 after winning all his 5 matches.
All I can say is thanks to all my coaches for all the motivation and the encouragement and the hard work and every week training I've been peeling.
In the ladies category, Helena Mutenda won the senior under 48 kg category with 3 wins in 3 matches. Meanwhile, Pine Moro Sele also won a gold medal in the cadet category.
I wasn't in a rush, you know, but for trainer, I want to get trainer. Even though I had some issues, but yeah, make a con. So, tatan nikisimo no go se thata gape no go se motlhofo no go siame hela mara hela ke itumela gore ke kgone. It took a lot of dedication, a lot of training. Ever since this year started, I've been training a lot so that I'm able to get here and able to achieve whatever I achieved today. She was a very tough opponent. She knew what to do in order to prevent me from attacking. But at the end of the day, I was able to find a way through her and I won.
The tournament, which is the first of the year for Botswana Judo Federation, was graced by 120 athletes from various clubs across the country. It was also used as a Rwanda Youth Development Program to help in nurturing talent from the grassroots. Kariso Morelekwa, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And well, that is it for sport this week. I'll be back again in a week's time right here on BTV News, DSTV channel 289. Olibile Samoka is standing by to give us a reminder of our top stories. Let's go and prepare for Monday.
Most definitely, we've got a lot coming. I believe tomorrow the Bahamas Prime Minister is coming here. And as you've already said, we will meet in a week's time. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And that is what we had for you in sports. Let's take a reminder of our top stories. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas is expected to arrive in Botswana tomorrow for a 6-day official visit. Small citrus farms in the Rispedu region to seek partnerships with the CDB Citrus Farm. And National First Division Southside Prisons 11 defeats Mogodisane Fighters 2-0. And that is all that we had for you this hour. Do stay with us. Weather's up next.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Elite. Let's take a look at the rainfall amount recorded this morning. Bangale Agro Farm 7 millimeters, Swajuna Secondary School 5 millimeters, Letlakane Metrical Station 2 millimeters, Tabala Primary School and Swa Metrical Station 1 millimeters each. Looking at the current satellite image, clouds are visible over most parts of the country. Tomorrow, expecting cloudy becoming partly cloudy conditions with possibility of isolated thundershowers over southern southeast Gauteng, Mkweni, and southern central. Also expecting partly cloudy conditions with possibility of isolated thundershowers over Kalahari district. In the morning, we're expecting hot temperatures over the entire country between 20 and 24 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, we're expecting hot temperatures over southern southeast Gauteng, Mkweni, and southern center, and northeast ranging between 33 and 35 degrees Celsius. Also expecting very hot temperatures between 36 and 38 degrees Celsius. As for the Sadak region, clear skies expected over Port Elizabeth and Maseru with 30 degrees Celsius over Maseru and 27 degrees Celsius over Port Elizabeth. Cloudy conditions expected over Manzini with 24 degrees Celsius. Antaru, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions as well as Harare with 28 degrees Celsius over Harare and 26 degrees Celsius over Antananarivo. Showers expected over Beira with 29 degrees Celsius. Dar es Salaam expecting thunder showers with 31 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy conditions expected over Blantyre with 26 degrees Celsius. That's the weather forecast. Good night.
Dumelang betso. Kankere ya lebele ke bolwetse jo bo sa tshelaneng. Mme ba bongaka ba supa ha dipalo tsa